Welcome to episode 12 of the One Day at a Time podcast. I'm your host Sanjana and I'm a mindset coach. I help women across the globe to create a life which is in alignment with their true selves without feeling overwhelmed. I feel vision boards are something that every person who's interested in personal development would do. And why not? It's an extremely powerful tool provided you do it the right way. I usually see that people are jumping to the step where, they browse for images, download them, print, and create a really fancy vision board. We'll get to that as well. But in today's episode, I'm going to go through 3 things that you should do before you create your vision board so that you can set up a great and strong foundation for you to start creating the life that you want. The first thing that you need to do is to journal as your future self. I know this sounds cheesy, I feel that way too, but the value that you get out of this exercise is extremely high, and that's the reason I do it, and I recommend others to do it as well. So what you need to do is just set aside 30 minutes out of your day, go to a place where no one can disturb you, lock yourself in a room, put on your headphones, and then start writing as your future self. For example, if you are creating your vision board for 1 year, then imagine yourself a year from now and think about what she would have achieved in the next 12 months. The same way, if you're preparing your vision board for 3 years, then imagine yourself 3 years from now and start writing. So just write whatever comes to your mind. There are no right or wrong answers, but make sure you write for 30 minutes. And the reason why I say 30 minutes is in journaling, based on my experience, I feel the first 5 minutes usually goes in clearing up the fog or the most recent memories. So something that would have happened in the last few days, some movie that you would have watched, all that, the influence of all those things will be there. It needs at least 5 minutes to clear up all that, and you get to the juicy part only a little bit later. So I would suggest you to sit down for 30 minutes. Use a timer. That's the way it's worked out for me efficiently. Initially, it was a bit difficult for me to journal for a longer period of time, but just putting on my headphones with a nice, I usually put thunderstorms on. You can put nature sounds or any instrumental music. Set a timer and then start journaling. Just write whatever comes to your mind. The reason why this is so helpful is that, if you think about preparing a vision board from your current perspective, either you limit yourself or you exaggerate things. You think about, you're very motivated at this point, especially year end. You're really motivated for the new year. You're all set to go. If you set your goals in that mindset, unfortunately, you will end up disappointing yourself because you will not remain motivated throughout the year. Instead, what you need to do is access your future self and ask her what she would have done in these 12 months. This helps in being realistic about the time that you have in hand. That, look, there are these 12 months. What have you achieved in the 12 months? And it'll also help you to think from a perspective of a person who has grown, who has worked, and who has achieved. And I feel like this helps a lot in creating a vision board that's more mindful and that is in alignment with who you want to be and not what others are putting on their vision boards or not. For example, if you are listening to this podcast episode or you're watching it on YouTube, that means you are researching about vision boards and you want to see what others are doing. If you start preparing your vision board from that perspective, what happens is that all the videos that you would have watched, the podcast episode that you would have listened, all that's going to be there. So journaling really helps in cutting all that out and starting to think from your version who has achieved these things instead of my version or someone else's version. And then the second thing that you need to do is create about 3 to 5 categories in your life based on the priorities you have for the next 12 months. And for this, the journaling that you have done would really help. So have a look at that and observe if there are any patterns. What's coming up? Like, is it to do more with your career, or is it to do more with your relationships, or including more fun aspects in your life? have a look at the journaling that you did and come up with at least 3 main categories. And if there are more, you can come up with around 5, but I would suggest not to go beyond 5, because you have to remember that the reason why vision boards really work is because of the clarity that it provides you. So if you try to put in too much, it'll create confusion. So just keep that in mind while creating categories for your life. And as an example, I thought I would share my categories. It might be different for you, but I thought I will share it anyways because I figured that it might help you to get started. The first category and my most important and number one priority for 2021 will be health. I just feel that if my health is not okay, then I cannot enjoy any other things that I achieve or any successes that I get. So, if this is your priority as well, then think about what a healthy lifestyle looks like, and then write down 3 to 5 words that represents your version of healthy lifestyle. For me, it is yoga, calmness, cardio. It'll be different for you for your version of healthy lifestyle. Even for me, last year when I included this as my category, it was yoga, journaling, and meditation. So I feel like I really killed it with journaling and meditation, but yoga not so much. I was pretty good in the beginning, and somewhere in mid during the lockdown time, I don't know, that did not work out quite well. And then even towards the end, a lot of things came up. I just became more inconsistent with it. So I want to continue having yoga in my routine because it helped quite a lot. So it's yoga, just having less stress in general, not worrying about too many things, as well as including a lot of cardio. And the letter from your future self will really help you figure out what health means to you exactly for 2021, not for lifelong though. The second priority for me is career and finances. Just repeat the same step again. If this is one of your priorities, think about what an abundant life would look like for the next 12 months and come up with 3 to 5 keywords that represent that. Is it you starting your own business, or do you want to save up for a down payment for the house, or do you want to increase your investments, or do you want to get a new job? Like whatever it is, write down. For me, the first keyword is business growth. In 2020, I started my business with mindset coaching as well as tarot reading. I want to see different avenues to grow that. And the other keyword for me is job. If you didn't know, I am currently in my final semester of post-graduation, so I'll be graduating in a couple of months, and I want to put my attention into that. And then the third keyword is funds. Funds are basically like sinking funds or mini saving accounts. So these 3 keywords explain career and finances, or represent career and finances for me. And my third category, or my third priority, is personal. For me, I want to spend more time on my hobbies and shop for things that really make me happy. If this is your priority, think about what brings you joy and write down those keywords. I actually came up with 4 keywords for this. The first one is stickers. This might sound a bit silly, but it just brings me a lot of joy, and planning is one of my hobbies, and it also helps me become more productive. And I really want to incorporate more stickers into my planning because they just allow me to be more creative in preparing my planning spreads and all of that. And then another keyword is simple or minimal. I feel simple is better. So I want to have things in my life that, which makes my life more simpler and not more complicated. I want to have less stuff, but the stuff that's really useful for me and that really brings me joy. And then another keyword is movies. I love watching movies, so I put that keyword down. I want to watch more of them and just enjoy my Saturday evenings. And another keyword that I put in is outdoors. I want to get out. I want to make sure to get out at least for 15 minutes a day to just walk around the neighborhood, get in some fresh air, and come back. And I would like to travel, but I don't know when we would go back to living without social distancing, without those masks. That's the reason I didn't include it. It's just because I don't want to expect that and then get disappointed. I just want to focus on just living the best life based on what I have currently with me. Think about, what is it for you? Is it dancing, or is it self-care, or is it just learning a new language for fun? Whatever it is, come up with 3 to 5 keywords and write that down. And my fourth priority is relationships. Touch wood, I am currently, I'm happy with what's happening right now, and I don't want anything major here, as my main focus is my health and my career. Plus, I believe that I don't want to change things that are working fine. I just don't want to disturb what's happening there. The words that represent for me in terms of relationships are authentic. I just want to be with more authentic people, and also I want to create more authentic vibes wherein people can be more authentic with me. It's not just me being that way. So I want to work on that, and I feel like I have been working on that consciously, at least from the last 2 years. I just want to keep continuing that. And another keyword is community. So just engaging with more people who have similar interests, and yeah, just trying to, virtually, of course, not getting out, but virtually trying to talk to more people who have similar interests. And 2020 was pretty good in that sense. I just want to increase that, or just keep that going. Like I said, it's working fine. I don't want to make too many changes, but I did want to include it, as I want to keep it going. And then another word that represents relationship for me is connect. So to make sure that I am taking enough time out of my life to connect with other people, as well as I'm making time for other people who want to connect with me. I really want to get that. I'm a naturally introverted person, and what happens is often people think that I'm rude or I'm reserved or I don't want to talk to them. It's not that way at all. So probably there is a little bit of work at my end to do, wherein it tells people that, hey, I am here if you want to connect with me, if you want to have a chat, or if there's something going on in your life, I am here. And people who are pretty close to me know that, but not everyone. So let's see. I don't know as of now what to do, but that's the word that represents for me. And think, what is it for you that represents what you want to create? So don't forget that what you want to create and not what others are doing. The fifth and final category for me is contribution. And contribution for me means giving back to the world. And the reason why I put this as my last and final priority is that I have to look after myself in order to give back efficiently. And if I'm not happy, then I really cannot share happiness. I'll make people around me miserable as well. So that's important. Keep that in mind. If you want to include contribution as one of your priorities, then make sure it's at the end, because you need to be happy in order to share happiness to others. Plus, you also need to be in this for the long game. It's not just about making one single donation or just volunteering at one place and then let it go. For me, it's really important to be in it for the long game, and for that I need to take care of myself as well. And for this year, I have chosen financial as my keyword, because in 2020, due to COVID, I lost my job. I didn't have income for a couple of months. That stopped me from helping financially, giving back financially. And after I got the job, I started doing it again. I just set aside a certain percentage of my income, whatever I'm earning. XX percentage of income goes to contribution. You can either choose NGOs or anything else. I personally contribute to the school that I studied in, and right now I am in Canada and I studied in Bangalore, so I'm just saving it in my account, and when I go there, I will give that money to them. This is a priority for you. Then think about the word that represents contribution for you. It need not be financial. It can be planting more trees or reducing plastic use, or just write down whatever contribution means for you and what you can do from your end. Now, moving on to the third thing that you need to do, since you have your keywords and you have gotten a lot of clarity because of the journaling that you did, move on to the fun and exciting part. What you need to do is you have these list of keywords, right? Start typing these on Google. Actually, I would suggest Pinterest. I always use Pinterest. They have really good images in there. And type in these keywords, look for images that represent what you want to create and not what just looks good. The type of images you need to choose, I've explained about this in episode 11. If you haven't listened to it yet, I will link it in the description. Make sure you listen to that. So choose images that you can relate to and download them. Make sure you have like 1 or 2 images for each category. We have like, I have 5 categories for me, so I would pick 1 or 2 images that represents each category. If you're really into it, then just go for 3. Don't go beyond 3 images for each category. Again, I want to reiterate that we do vision boards to gain more clarity, to provide more clarity to our brains and not more confusion. So start with 1 or 2 images. If you really want to include another one, then have the third one in each category. And then you can go ahead and create your vision board. A vision board tutorial is coming up. I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process of creating both digital as well as a physical vision board. I'm excited to share the tutorial. So if you are too, and if you want to know how to create that, make sure to follow my podcast, or if you're listening on YouTube, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is totally free. I hope you like this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.